What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mark Walberg, award-winning host, award-winning host. And welcome to Bonfire Talks, another episode with my man, Kalen. Kalen, how you doing back there?
I'm good, Mark. How are you?
I am very, very well, thank you. Very well.
Very well. Good.
Yes, I feel good. We're getting through summer, and it hasn't been horribly hot here. It's been manageable, although today may be different.
This week is when it's supposed to hit.
Yeah, it's supposed to hit. But here's what I love. I love that summer comes here, and then my birthday is end of August, and that sucks for me because it's always like for my whole life, it's been, hey, it's your birthday, and everybody just started school yesterday, and it's Labor Day, and summer's over, and the world sucks.
Yeah.
But happy birthday, dude. And so that sucks ass every year. But I'm going to do Temptation Island.
That's right.
As the award-winning host on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned that. And we're leaving end of August, so my birthday will be in Hawaii. But it's not even so much about my birthday, but what I love is right when summer ends and you're like, depression, and what am I going to do with my life? And I have nowhere to go, and darkness.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little deeper than it should be. It could just be September, but I'm just telling you how it feels. It's the start of a summer for me because I go to Hawaii where it's full-on summer. And so when I come back, it's like, okay, we're almost to Thanksgiving. I can make it. So it works out for me. That's the ancillary benefit of hosting Temptation Island in Hawaii. So I'm very, very excited to get back there, trying to work out the arrangements. And hopefully, because I'm the host, at some point they're going to call me and tell me when I'm going. Or maybe let me know who's on the show. But details. Yeah. We're not going to worry about that. Today we celebrate a different show.
All right.
And before I get into my guests, who I'm very excited to have on the show, this may be the most sexy I've ever had on a podcast episode, myself included, because I'm having a good hair day. But this may be the pinnacle of sexy on my podcast. Kalen, you're in it too.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
You're welcome, buddy. But we'll get to that in a second. I binged 6 episodes of Perfect Match. And I have 2 of the stars of Perfect Match on the show who, we're going to get into it because I don't really like sharing them with other shows, but they were on Temptation Island first. So, I'm just saying. But before we get into that, I have to tell you that I need to talk to Netflix because Nick Lachey, no shade. Love you, Nick. You don't even know who I am, but I love you. Waltzes into these Tulum episodes, right? And he's got this hot little summer, short set, I guess would be the best way to describe it. He's wearing shorts and this breezy matching shirt, and it's completely chill. I'm at the bonfires in Hawaii wearing long pants, a shirt, a button-up shirt, and a jacket. Right? And I'm like, it's summer. Why am I dressed like somebody's dad, in the middle of winter? So I guess when you get to Lachey's level, you get to wear whatever you want. And but I did, a little compare and despair. I'm looking at Nick Lachey going, he's quite dreamy. He's got a really good head of hair and waltzing right in. And so props to you, Nick. And I wish I could wear shorts. That's all. Okay. Let's get into today because I have so much to talk about because it's not even about my guests. I mean, I want to talk about them too, but I have so many thoughts about the couples happening on Perfect Match, which is on Netflix. You should check it out. 6 episodes have dropped. More episodes coming next week. I watched all 6 episodes. But with me today are 2 former they say temptresses, but I say temptors, just like females are actors now.
Yeah.
So let's just do that. Tempting individuals who were on Temptation Island and killed it, and now we're on Perfect Match, mixing it up. I've got Alex Zamora here. Hi, Alex, and Olivia Rae as my guest today on the podcast, because that's how we're bringing it today. Pretty excited. Hi, you guys.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
It's nice to see you both. Backstory for those of you who are watching the podcast, both Alex and Olivia were on Temptation Island. I would have to tell you that we didn't get to hang out much because I don't get to hang out much.
No, I know, hardly ever.
Yeah, and so we say a quick hello, although when we wrapped, if I remember correctly, when the show wrapped and you guys were still in the hotel for a day before you had to go home, I think, I don't know, Olivia, if you were there, but Alex for sure was there. There was a whole table of you and Logan and a bunch of other people. And I think I bought you all shots, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Wow. Bummed. I think
Get
I
at
got
me,
a shot
Nick
at the
Lachey.
Netflix party, though.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It was funny. And you were funny too, because I walked in and you're like, hi, Mark. And then my wife is like, who's that? I'm like, that's Alex from the show. It's all good. Hi, you guys. I'm glad to see you both. Congratulations on your success. Just to catch you folks who are listening up, Alex and Olivia were on Temptation Island, and now they are on Perfect Match. And we have a lot to unpack, because I don't watch a lot of these shows, but I did watch Love is Blind, and now I watch Perfect Match, and I know some of the people now that are on Perfect Match, and I have feelings about it. I have deep feelings about the couples and what they're doing. But But let's start with you guys. I love the fact that Netflix brings people from other shows into their shows, because it starts to become like I have a running dialogue, a running understanding of who they are. So did you reach out to them, or did they reach out to you, Alex?
They reached out to me. Actually, I think everyone got reached out to, like, as soon as we got back from Temptation Island.
Immediately.
Like, the day of, like, we got back, we got an email, and they're like, I'm interested in having you on another show. Are you open to it? And I was like, sign me up. I don't even care what it is. Sign me up. Except Love is Blind. I can't do Love is Blind, but anything else, sign me up.
Yeah, I think the second we got home, I think I came home a little earlier than you, Alex. And yeah, within a day or two of getting back to Vegas, they were emailing and calling.
So so obviously, what was Temptation Island your first reality show that you did, you guys?
For me, yes.
Olivia?
Technically, yes, as like a full cast member. I had been on Vanderpump Rules a little bit because I worked at SUR, so I was there around and filming. I was never a full cast member, obviously, but I was there, so I was a little comfortable, but still, yeah, that would have been my first real feature.
The reason I ask is that I have found that people go on my show, because that's really the only, and I know people from The Bachelor and stuff like that, and they either have the experience of down, like, okay, or never again. So before we get into Perfect Match, and I'll start with you, Alex, what was your take on your experience on Temptation Island?
You know how those NDAs go. I had a great time. I really did. I really was open to the experience, as everybody saw. And I really was putting myself out there and spicing things up the way that, you've been with the show from the beginning. So, this isn't the first season where it's crazy. It's just the first season that was on Netflix. So it was a very different audience, and I don't think people really knew what to expect. So it was interesting. It was an interesting, like, seeing what the viewers saw versus, my experience personally. But overall, I had a really great time with Netflix. I had a great time with my castmates. I made some really great friends. And, going on the second show, I was hoping that I would get to show more of my personality, because, I was just this, like, sexy vixen, which is fun. That is part of me, but there's so much more to me that nobody got to see. That's
what I want to get into. But Olivia, what was your Temptation Island experience like? Positive, negative?
I think it's obvious. We don't see a lot of me. And I think that's a little bit by choice. I'm 31 years old now. I guess I was 30 at the time, but I'm not just going to, like, pretend to get along. To me, the men that I had to choose from were lacking in all areas, and I can't pretend to, like, just do it just for fun. Like, you have to have one redeeming quality. You're not attractive and you're not intelligent. Okay, what do I have to work with here? So for me, I kind of self-removed, and I was fine with that. I made a lot of good friends. I got a good team. So I had a great experience, even though there isn't a lot of me on the show.
I have to give you some flowers on that, some props, because
Thank you.
This is the conundrum of reality TV, and I'm no shade on anybody on these shows, is that people are always asking me, is it scripted? And I'm like, it's not so much scripted. It's not scripted, But I think
No.
certain people who are on the show realize that if they don't have a storyline, they're not going to be in the show. And so
Right.
I question and wonder how often people are pushing a narrative that may not be true. And what I love what you said, Olivia, is that you looked at the 4 guys and you're like, yeah, this is not my flavor. I don't need any of this. So thanks for the trip. I'm going to get a
It is
tan
what
and
you
go.
make it, I think. You know, like if you want to be involved, you can be involved, whatever that looks like. If you don't, I was happy to take a backseat.
So on Perfect Match, when you came on, I'm trying to remember who you were talking to because I was just looking at you. I can't remember who your first little conversation was.
My first entry into the show is a 3-person date with
Right.
Justine and Ollie.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you were having a conversation with Ollie when you got back to whatever they call the house. It's not a villa or whatever they call.
I think of
Is this
Yeah,
villa?
villa.
Okay. I just remember you being in a conversation with someone and you were so real in it. You were so like, just tell me what you mean,
Oh, it might have been Louis. Like, I
Yes.
think he's like saying like, yeah, my type is like tan and brown hair and brown eyes and la la la. And like for me, like, yeah, obviously, right? I'm sitting right in front of you, but like,
Yes.
okay, then say that. Like, if you, I think even watching it, because like, obviously, I mean, for me, I skipped straight to where I am. I didn't watch anything else. I have no idea what happens on this show so far. I've only watched myself.
I had to watch several episodes
and
until you
for
guys
me,
showed up. So
It looks like I could have had an easy in there, right? He's handing it to me on a silver platter. But again, I don't need to tell you, pick me. If you don't want to have the balls to say you're my type, then okay, then we're not going to do this. So I'm a little just like, and also you're 24. Like
bless your heart.
yeah, like I'll be fine.
I
Go
just
back
found your
when-
take refreshing because it was so.
Thank you.
And by the way, both of you, I thought about this last night. I'm like, what am I going to talk to them about? And we'll talk about the tea and that stuff. But here's what strikes me about both of you on that show is that you walk in so fucking empowered that I don't think is an act because I've seen both of you. I've seen Alex recently. Olivia, I don't remember. Were you there that Thursday event? The Netflix
Yeah, I was
event?
at summer. The summer.
Yeah, I
break
saw
one, yeah.
you, right? Didn't we
Yeah,
chat? Yeah, I thought so. It got a little confused. I was really,
It was a lot going on.
I was
a
really
lot.
nervous.
So overstimulating.
Oh
Yeah, it
my
was
gosh, yeah.
overstimulating.
Every way you turned, it was like, oh my god, hi.
Yeah, for me, it was like,
I'm
oh my
getting
God, I've
chills
seen
just
that guy.
Thinking about it again, I was so overwhelmed.
Yeah. But what I wanted to say to you both when I watch you come onto the show, and both a different vibe, and this, I'm always on this podcast trying to find, like, we talk about, silly whatever. I'm always trying to find a takeaway that my listeners and viewers will be like, oh, and that could break open something for them. And you know how I am with a bonfire. I like things to get a little deep. So
Yeah.
here's what I just heard you say. Here's what I saw you both embody when you came in. You weren't selling anything. You were buying. And that
Right.
may not be the best analogy. But what I'm saying is you came in going like, if it's a hookup, if it works, great. But I don't have any desperation at all in my game.
Right.
And if you don't particularly need me to stay in the house, I've got no walk of shame in my game either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm
It's
not
like,
shameful at all.
You're
Yeah.
standing in your value, and if it's
Right.
appreciated or not appreciated, that doesn't quantify your value to you.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't like you need Louis to say, I'm really into you, for you to then feel like you have been seen. You were looking at him like going, look, I appreciate you,
Yeah.
young guy, but you're
Well,
basically
it's nice,
describing
I
me to
think-
tell me that, oh, this is what I'm looking for. And that's kind of like player move, but whatever. So pick me if you pick me,
Yeah, exactly. What I think what was nice about Perfect Match was, to me, everyone was more physically attractive. So that's already like, okay, one step up.
Sure.
So I was more intrigued to be involved for sure. But also, again, like, if you're not going to like have the conversation and do the thing, then okay, like, that's
Yeah.
fine with me. Like,
Alex, when you
Right.
came in, go ahead. What were you going to say? 'Cause
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I watched. There's no secret that on Temptation Island, I'm a little bit more biased towards the women than the men, right? When the bonfires, I'm a little, I get a little girl daddish on that one.
mhm.
But I laughed at and enjoyed how your physical beauty, your inner sex appeal that is kind of undeniable knocks these guys off their center to the point where they can barely speak. Like the game goes down the tube, right? And I know you know that power. What were you going to say?
I definitely empowered that on Temptation Island, so you just didn't really get to see it.
I saw some. I saw some. What were you going to say?
Oh, that's all I was going to say. Sorry,
Yeah.
Go ahead. I cut you off.
No. I just noticed that you came in and it was like, and some of it's editing, but it was like, oh shit. And all the guys got spun because you're beautiful. But none of them really seemed to take a moment to go, okay, beyond this, I need to get with that. Who's the woman behind that? And that's what I saw in Olivia's conversation and what disappointed me in the conversation that were being had with you as everyone's trying to match that, where's the depth? So in your real life, is that a problem?
I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, I would say men tend to be pretty lustful. And when you look like Olivia and myself, that's the first thing people see. I think one thing, though, that does, like, kind of what you said, like, I do bring an energy and a presence into a room. So aside from just, like, the physical looks, there's, like, an aura about me. I mean, not to toot my own horn, sorry. I sound like I'm...
That's true. I've seen it. I felt it.
But, like, when I do walk into a room, it is genuine confidence, and I think that really makes you stand apart. So aside from just my physical looks, like, I think that confidence is really what sets you apart as a woman, right? Because I didn't obviously know what was being said about me before I came into the house, or like what was being said about me while I was in the house during that. Well, no, that's a lie. I heard everybody talking shit. But I think just like the insecurity, and I think you hear me say it at one point, like, oh, it's giving insecure. Like, that is what already like knocks you down as a woman. Like, even if you're not the most physically attractive in the room, if you carry yourself like you are. You become the most attractive person.
100%. I think that was a little bit of my intro. Like,
that's my biggest advice to anyone watching the podcast. If you feel inferior to other, like, you shouldn't. Like, you are you 100%. So, like, just jab it in. Like, you are you. So walk in with confidence, because if
they don't know
everything that is you, like, it's undeniable. It does turn people's heads. It does give them like that, oh my gosh, like, who is this girl?
I think that's really interesting that you say that, and it's really smart, because on the guy side, I always commented that a lot of times these guys who are like 6'5" and ripped and they got the abs and the whole thing don't have a lot of game.
They've never had to learn to create a personality.
That's right.
Because they've relied on looks, their height, their abs. They don't have personality. It's like, okay, we get it. You're attractive. Now what?
It's like, pull up their shirt and say,
yeah,
can you work with
like
this?
That worked,
but
like,
beyond that, what are we going to do? Guys like me had to develop more game when we were single. And I wonder how much of that was true for me when I was single back when, 18, 19, 20 years old, is that I would watch guys shoot their shot in the club and crash and burn. I mean, these guys were gorgeous or whatever. And I would come in, with a little something real. And,
it works. Goes everywhere.
What do you mean?
Well, thank you. Thank you. But I think you really hit it on the head. And hearing it from you for other women who are look different than you, to say, look, all this is, I work hard to be all this, and I'm proud of how I look. But if you carry yourself like you're the prize, then you'll be valued as the prize.
Yeah.
And if you carry yourself with, I hope you like me, it's not attractive.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was literally like my intro, I think, when I do my walk-in with Justine and they clip to like our little bio intros, whatever. It's like, that's what it is. Like, as long as you commit, like, no one can tell you otherwise, because they don't know anything anyway.
You said commit to the bit, I think.
Yeah, commit to the bit, like, stand tall. I've always like been told, like, my mother's always like, just be confident and no one's going to be able to stop you. Like, what are you going to do about it? Like, maybe I am more physically attractive, or maybe I do have more of a personality, but like whether you know that or not, I'm going to prove to you, like, whether you think that, it still exists in me. So take it or leave it.
So I wasn't going to go here, but I want to ask you kind of a bonfire question about each of you, because this is something empathically that comes up sometimes on my side, experiencing young women like you, is that the line between the confidence that you walk in the room with, and is there also a little bit of shield in that confidence? In other words, how do I say this without pissing you off? Being confident is one thing. I see both of you walk in with that confidence that seems authentic and real and you know, true to your soul. But I also wonder if men have in the past disappointed you guys so greatly that this confidence is a way to say, all right, don't fuck with me a little bit.
Oh, 100%. I'm not offended by that. 100%.
Not offended. You know,
I think I actually had a conversation in Hawaii with Breon. I'm surprised it didn't air, but I mean, I'm not surprised because I'm not relevant to their stories, but I had a one-on-one conversation with Breon. It was kind of like our first real sit down to try to talk and connect to see if there was anything there. And like, I think one of the first things out of his mouth was, "You're very intimidating." And I said, good, it weans out the weak. That's exactly what I want it to be. Yeah. If you are already intimidated by my existence, my presence, the way that people are gravitate towards me, then you already can't handle all of this. So you please step aside. Like, don't waste my time. There will be someone who's ready to handle it when they're ready. Like, that's like the best part of it, is like not going to dim it down just so more people try to talk to me or more people like me. Like, it weans out the weak. Go away. Yeah. I'll find my person.
And it also weans out the danger a little bit. A little of the danger. Like
100%. Yeah.
Alex, what were you going to say? You were...
Yeah, no, I entirely agree with that. And I think behind women who do show up the way that Olivia and I do, like, there have been a lot of lustful situations, and there have been a lot of heartbreaks, and there have been a lot of times that have made us feel like, oh, like, maybe, you know, I'm speaking on maybe behalf of you, but I'm speaking on behalf of myself. There have been times where I questioned myself. I'm like, am I not good enough for this person? Am I not? Like, and then I completely shifted my mindset, I think, after my last relationship, because before Temptation Island, I was single for like 3.5 years, and I hadn't gone on one date. Like, actually, like, I was so guarded, and I had such a like, no, like, I know who I am now, and I'm not going to settle for less in that way. So I think I show up with like a lot of like, I've been through enough to now know who I am and show up very confidently in that. And like, yeah, there's a lot of hurt behind it.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was a work in progress to
100%.
What I'm talking about is the hurt that creates the strength.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm talking about is
the argument.
It is both the plus, you know, everything in life, I think, has a winning aspect of it and something that holds you back in every survival energy that we have. And so those people that have wounded us in the past are what creates who we are today. And the good side of that is strength. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. And then the other side of that is the barrier from the possibility of something greater that has to exist in a very dangerous place called vulnerability, where you have to let people in, right? Okay. Terrifying.
Yeah.
It's not
scary,
terrifying,
but it's worth it.
Pardon me?
Like I said, it's scary, but it's so worth it. Like, a lot of my close friends who like have obviously been around and gone, like, know the things I've gone through. Still, like, one of my very closest friends will always be like, you're still like, I'll meet someone, I'll try to date, and they're like, you're so hopeful. And I'm like, if I let go of hope, I'll have nothing. If I don't think that one day my vulnerability will get me to where I want, or the person that I need to be with or deserve to be with, then I'll never find it. If I'm not willing to try still, if I don't keep putting myself out there, then I'll be left right here where everyone that hurt me left me. So
it's a warrior principle.
Yeah.
to embrace the fact and the reality that even in the best case situation, we're going to get crushed occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
So the choices are mediocre life, where we never go there. And I have this conversation with people all the time on the show and off the show. Play it safe. You're going to get exactly that. You'll have a lovely, kind of boring life, and you'll end up sipping wine at 3 p.m. and wondering what's missing, you know. And the other path is the danger zone of being vulnerable and, you know, going into a sword fight naked and knowing you're going to get cut a little bit. So, yeah, I get it. And it's much more difficult for women. We expect men to have this front, which is, by the way, when you're having a conversation with Louie and stuff like that, no shade to you, Louie. You can come on the show. We can chop it up, brother. I can help you. I can help you.
Invited him in. It would have been a great time.
It would have been great. But that bravado that we've been taught as men to have is the same as the confidence that women need to have to protect themselves. Or
100%.
sometimes it's not confidence with women. Sometimes it's perceived as standoffishness or something else, but it's protection. And you want to say to Louie in that conversation, which I thought you did, is, hey, you're safe with me for a second. Like, rather than saying all the things you see about me physically so that you pretend to say you're my type, how about let's talk about what's real? And we'll see if you are my type and I'm your type, like if the magic happens. And let's get to that, because I saw some magic happening on the show.
Yeah.
I think. It might be editing, but I think.
That's right.
My heart was breaking a little for Rachel.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I
I
suggest
only
you watch
watched myself.
It's really good. You want me to tell you what happens?
I
It's
mean,
so
I
good.
know. I know she comes in. She's obviously not expecting to see Clayton.
So I need to
didn't
talk to
know-
Clayton.
I didn't know anything about their previous history via The Bachelor, so I don't know.
So let me catch you folks up. I highly
Please.
suggest you watch Perfect Match. And I don't say that for every Netflix reality show, but I kind of do, because I'm kiss as much ass as I can. But this is actually very good. I'm enjoying it. So I want to talk to Clayton, okay? I think he's a good guy in there. I think his heart is in the right place, which is usually the case with most men. But I got, yeah, that's true.
Most, Mark.
No,
Most is crazy.
Okay.
Some, maybe.
Uh-oh.
Maybe we can say some.
Okay. Fair. I'm glad you checked me on it. I think I tried to give the benefit of the doubt, even when I see people acting out like Breon did on the show. I still have love for the kid because he's a work in progress, you know? So I guess in that sense, it hurt me to see Rachel come on the show and actually having some pain seeing Clayton. It was bringing up past trauma, where whether we buy it or not, The Bachelor is a TV show, but let's play the game of buying it for a second, that she was in love with him and he was in love with her, and it got down to the end and he was like, yeah, no. And I don't care how you spin it, that hurts. So it's not trauma like, you know, I watched someone get murdered, but it's trauma nonetheless, and trauma is as big as it feels to us. So I felt that in her. And then when they get there, she's really guarded and going, look, I don't know if I can open this up again. It's still painful for me. She says that really beautifully. And he's like, my intuition says that there's a reason we must be here, which I buy intuition and I buy no such thing as coincidence. But then where I was disappointed in Clayton is not understanding the weight of his decision. That when you make that decision, you now have a responsibility. You can't then come 2 days later or a day later or 20 minutes later and go, my intuition tells me this isn't working. And at that point, I'm like, maybe your intuition should not be guiding your shit, dude, because I don't know if that's actually intuition. I think that's a little bit of, she's hot and I miss her, and I forgot I'm not so down.
Yeah.
Right? And that speaks to what we were saying earlier about, I just wish the guys could learn the skill set of dangerously being real.
Yeah.
Which I think women don't find that dangerous at all. I think women generally would be so relieved when guys are just straight up. you know?
100%.
I think it just saves time. Like, just be honest. Let's figure it out. Like, I think a lot of the show, right? It is a show, is strategy. So whether he realizes it's opening a wound for her, or I need to stay in the villa, this might be my easiest in. It could have been both of those things. Or, you know, he maybe was still genuinely interested in her again. I don't know. Again, I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
It's just my thoughts. But like, there's a lot happening at Perfect Match. So
Yeah.
but think more not strategically, like
Yeah, gameplay. I get it. From the
exactly.
gameplay.
I
Go
think
ahead,
that's
Alex.
actually a good point to bring up because not a lot of people do realize that about Perfect Match. It is like actually, I feel like more of a strategy show than an actual like, oh, I'm
Thinking
gonna
show.
find the person I marry. Like, okay, wait, now I'm gonna go too far. Sorry.
No, I got you. You don't get us in a place of spoilers, but I got you. See, that's the difference between Temptation Island and these other shows that I quite frankly think cuts through is that there is no prize at all on Temptation Island.
Right.
The only thing is it's either on the surface, you know, a chance to bang it out in the tropical paradise, or what I keep driving to is a discovery into what the fuck do you really want.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the only prize, right? So there is no strategy per se, right?
Yeah, Perfect Match is not.
I love that, but they're different shows.
Yeah, Perfect Match is a lot more strategy than I think people realize. I think more than I realized even going into it, that's for sure. Not that I thought I was going to find the love of my life, but thought I'd have more fun.
And what I'm seeing is I'm a little bit, well, I know this now. I'm far more gullible than most of the people who are on these shows, including my daughter, by the way, that you guys met.
So sweet.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
She's the one who's like saying, Dad, you don't get it. You just don't get it. You got to chill. And I'm like, but people's hearts are breaking. He's like, no, it's okay. You're okay. But things like, and if you haven't watched up through episode 6, sorry, dude. You're just going to have to deal with this. But things like Ollie and AD, who I love from Love is Blind separately, by the way. I love them both. And AD kind of got crushed on hers and Ollie, whatever. I don't really remember, but I just know I liked them. And then I felt like on Perfect Match, they were really, really like awesome. And then I hated that boardroom choice where they had to break up the most compatible couples. So that's the kind of thing that I have trouble with, like from a show standpoint, when the show itself is proactive in misery as opposed to supporting a possibility. So, but whatever. So, but then I kept waiting for Ollie to go, you know, I appreciate you new girls and it's all great and you're hot and beautiful and everything, but my heart's still with AD, right? And maybe that comes in the episodes to come because it ends on episode 6 with you guys coming back at that singles party. You can't say a word, can you? You can't say it.
Well, I think if we're talking about episode 6, where he makes the decision to choose Justine over me, he absolutely could have said, I don't have a choice but to pick between the two of you. I choose Justine for whatever reason, but this is simply a platonic choosing. I'm waiting to find my opportunity to get AD back. He could have done that.
Yeah, although that's probably not as good at TV, so maybe that's probably why. But that's kind of what I wanted to hear. I
think there was some truth to his choosing her. So.
Yeah, I think
I don't know.
They
make it what they want to make it.
Yeah, I just want to hear, you know, like there's a connection that's so strong, and then it's over in a minute because of the gameplay, and I want to hear them go, God, I really miss her. I thought that was real. Like Madison, regardless of how you feel about Madison from how she was on Love is Blind, because my wife has some conflicted feelings about that. But then we met her at the event and really loved Madison. She was a sweetheart. But she obviously really was feeling Freddie. Is it Freddie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Freddie.
Who, can I tell you something? Adorable.
Oh, I think he's such a gem.
Yeah,
such a gem.
Yes, Alex, is he?
We love him. We're obsessed.
When I was going through my casting process, they were like, if you could have anyone or meet anyone from any show, who would it be? And I was like, I don't know how possible this is, because I didn't know like UK versus US commingle, or maybe they never have before. I don't know. But I was like, if there was anyone who I would actually genuinely want to meet, it would be Freddie from Love is Blind UK. And they're like, okay, interesting. And then when I found out he was there, I was like, oh.
I think Madison makes a comment at one point saying that Freddie is like a girl created him, you know, because he checks all the boxes. I'm asking.
Very sweet. Yes. Right. So kind. Very thoughtful. I think he, like anyone you talk to, like, or he speaks with, I think he just makes you feel like he's really listening and caring and appreciating. Like he's just really genuine.
I'm glad.
Yeah, you saw me on the way out in episode 3, I believe, after my date and coming into the villa. Like Freddie was the one person really like the entire night that was like checking on me and making sure that I was okay, because, you know, what you didn't see, there was a lot of shit talking. There was a lot of like actually yelling and cussing and like crying, and it was very chaotic. And I was just like, what the fuck?
Not at you, just in general.
Sorry.
You can say fuck. It's okay. I say it all the time.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. No, I have a potty mouth and I forget sometimes.
It's okay.
Not like at me per se, but like about me.
Understood.
So I was like super uncomfortable, and like it's obviously already hard enough coming in as a bombshell, not knowing like who's with who, what the connections are actually like. So I'm just trying to give myself a fair shot and like really get to know people. But it's like there was so much going on. It was very, very chaotic and overwhelming, and a lot of scenarios where, you know, I could have been very upset, but I have pretty thick skin. And just Freddie was like that one person in the house that really was like just always like, hey, like, are you okay? Are you doing okay? Like, do you need a minute? Like, do you need anything? Right? Checking on me. And he's the most sweet human being I've ever met in my life.
But it's, I know that we lost Olivia. Are we working on that? She's going to try to get us back in here.
It looked like she was having some trouble with her phone.
I don't think she got upset and left.
No. That was
no.
I'm just kidding. Did you hear? Is that?
Yeah, I heard camera. I think her camera's off, so we can still hear her.
Camera's off, but we can hear you. It's okay. Stay where you are in a safe place, and go to the light when you can, Olivia.
Oh my God.
So I love that. And the thing that Freddie does is the thing I always say is the only thing you need to know as a man in relationship with women and vice versa is you don't have to fix anything. You don't have to solve anything. You have to see and hear the person across from you. Let them know they see you. Right? I don't think you want more than that.
All one wants.
Right? Isn't that enough? Like, rather than going, you know what you should do? You should get over it. Or, stop crying. Smile. As opposed to saying, I get it. I understand. What do you need from me? How can I help you? But, and I think Freddie kind of understands that. And I want to teach some of the other guys some things, because I think, like I'm saying, I think that they're trying their best to be their best, but I think a little bit of it is if you're really, really fucking handsome, you don't learn some of the things you need to learn, and you need somebody to teach you. All right, back to you young women for a moment. So Alex, what do you want? Like, what are you looking for in your real life? You okay to go there? Can we go there a little bit?
Yeah, we can go there. I'm really open-minded. Everyone loves to be loved. Everybody loves to have somebody. As I said on Perfect Match, right? Like, I am a relationship girly, lover girl at the end of the day. A lot of people don't see that side of me. A lot of people won't ever see that side of me. But when I do give my heart, I give all of my heart. Like, I am like 100% in. So I think where that is, it is terrifying. We talked about it a little bit earlier, like being vulnerable and really like letting that guard down when you've been through so much. And like, I won't get into like my traumatic things of my life, but there was a reason why I was single for 3.5 years, and then I was like, oh, I'll do a dating show just to put myself out there. Obviously I didn't plan for it to go, the first one to go the way that it did, but then I'm like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a very free spirit, I'm very open-minded. But then Perfect Match, right? Like Olivia said, everybody was hot. Everybody had a like somewhat of a personality. So I'm like going into it very, very open-minded. And at this point, like I'm not necessarily like looking for somebody, but if it happens and it makes sense, then I'm open to it.
And
because I love her girl at the end of the day.
Yes, I know that. That's why I'm talking to you. Okay. Because all this I can get past. You see what I'm saying? And I wonder if when you're sex pottish, girls, I can't find a better phrase for it, but when you got that a lot of the men
heard that one.
That's a new one for sure.
It's actually a very old one, and I just fucking dadded myself into 1980. But when you're that bombshell, okay, the men that you meet may not have developed the skills, let me find the right language, to see beyond that to what really matters, which is inside there's a girl that wants to be loved, and wants to be seen, and wants to be valued as something more than the physicality. So I don't know why I went there with you guys, but it was on my mind when I saw you, and I think, Alex, you're on the right track, because I think the key to finding that someone is not looking for that someone, not looking at every possibility as, is this the guy? Is that him? Or is he going to disappoint me? Is that guy? I think it's showing up as you both showed up to that show as who you are with no attachment. Send me home.
And I think specifically with Louis, which was just kind of like interesting that I wanted to touch on really quick, is he does have like also this like persona around him, right? If you think Louis Russell, you think like, oh, he's kind of like how I was on Temptation Island. Like I don't know if you watched Too Hot to Handle, but
I watched him on Battle Camp, so I saw him on Battle Camp a little bit too.
Right. More wholesome on Battle Camp.
Yeah,
I mean, he still found a connection on a strategy show and not a dating show.
Right.
He still did his Louis shtick.
But yeah, no, and that's why I did go into it really open-minded, because, I was lucky enough that nobody saw, we were lucky that nobody saw Temptation Island. So nobody had this preconceived bias about me. I was very forthcoming with him about like, I'm a very like openly sexual person, because I think that's just important for me to share, like with any connection.
Sure.
But with him, I instead of judging him based on what I've seen on TV, right? Like I wanted to get to know him, and I really was open to it.
And I will say this about Louis, because I work to see people too, even though it's through TV. I'm trying to look and see. I think that when I see Sandy who he kind of is coupled up with Sandy, Sandy plays him a little bit, which I kind of dig. Like she pretends, you want to let's match, and she goes no, and then kisses him and says it's okay. I see him get vulnerable, and I see actually the little boy inside of him just past the bravado. I'm running out of time, but I want to talk to you so much more because it's great talking to you, and I think there's so much to learn from you both. So, but let me just say thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And if you want to come back and talk about some real shit, down. Of course. And if you don't want to come back and you want to talk about real shit offline, let me know if I can help you. But let me just wrap it up by saying my experience of both of you separately is beyond the perfection. Congratulations on all of that. I see very confident, wise women who are navigating through past situations that have left pain, navigating through potential possibility with hope and grace, and not living in the judgment of others. So that's what impresses me about both of you guys.
Thank you, Mark. That's so sweet. Thank you.
So episode 6 ends with the singles coming back, and there's a party, and I think either I fell asleep or that was the end of the episode. So I don't know what happens, but hopefully it works out good, and I just hope that Madison and Freddie find each other again, and I'm hoping that AD and Ollie end up married and forever together. But I feel like, and I can't spoil, because we all hung out at this event, and there were a lot of people there. So let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, you guys. I'm going to say goodbye to you. I got some other things I want to say. You can hang out and just listen to me say this stuff. But anyway, love you both. And are we going to see you on another show at any point? Are you open? Are you down?
Absolutely. I'm always open.
I'm open. Temptation Island does, like, you remember her? We brought her back. Oh, shit. You know, stuff like that. So
That would be cool.
That would be wild.
I think the fans need it.
Veteran Temptresses here
Yes.
again
Yeah,
to
I like
mess
it.
up your
I
relationship.
don't know if they would want to see me on
I
that
like
show
it.
again.
I think they would. Anyway, my love to both of you guys. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Mark.
All
So-
right, thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. Hey, a little shout out for my wife. As you may not know, you girls may not know this. She was the original person killed in Friday the 13th, like the first victim in the original Friday the 13th. Yeah, that thing.
That's amazing. Hello.
I know, crazy, right? And so
Incredible.
this,
With that,
I know.
Yeah.
This weekend at the Los Angeles Airport Hilton is a big 45th anniversary of Friday the 13th. So it's a big like signing event. It's like 3 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This will drop Wednesday. So it's Wednesday right now. Time travel. And then so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, she's going to be there signing autographs. She played Annie. She was like, you think she's going to be this kind of the star of the movie, and then she gets whacked in like the first 20 minutes. But she does it gracefully and with turnout because she's a dancer.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
And I'll be
She's
there
very
with her,
graceful.
so I'm her +1. So stop by, give her some love and support. And so I'll be doing the Friday 13th as a +1, which I love is when we go to these horror things. You're hip because you go to these Comic-Cons with your dad.
Yeah.
But when I go with her to these things, it's a horror crowd. And they like look at me like, oh, do you know her? I'm like, yeah, well, I'm on TV too. And they're like, yeah, it does not register at all. All right, so that's what's up. Like, subscribe, comment, write us if you want to talk about stuff. If something came up, and if you're a woman out there and you want to talk about, you know, what we've talked about being seen and having to be vulnerable and how dangerous that is, and I'm down to talk about that at any time. Kaylin, anything else?
That's it.
All right. Alex, I love you. Thank you. Olivia, thank you so much. And I'm here if you need me for any reason.
Thanks, Mark.
That goes for you guys too. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
See you
Mark.
next time. I'm out.